Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the effect that different size quarter pipes can have on your skating. The other day I was learning the trick on this quarter pipe right here, and I just started thinking about how much having this perfect incline affected me landing the trick, because if it was that one over there, which is much steeper, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I figured it'd be a cool video to break down why and why certain things affect the tricks I do. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a mellow quarter pipe like this one here. So this is perfect for learning tricks on. If you're just getting into transition, this mellow quarter pipe, almost like a bank ramp, is just perfect. You're not hitting the transition too steep and slipping out as easily, but it does make certain tricks harder to learn. So for example, if you wanted to do, let's say a pivot fakie, right? Just a 5-0, and you come in like this. When you're coming in fakie, you're gonna have to hold that manual much longer, which makes it more likely to hang up. So, it might feel more comfortable because it's less steep coming in, but there's certain factors that affect certain tricks. Another trick that I commonly see being messed up on a small quarter pipe is a feeble grind. So when a quarter pipe is this mellow, it's very easy for the wheels to get stuck on the top or on the sides because it's not steep enough to kind of get that real sideways motion of the feeble grind. So the wheels tend to stick. So you could be starting out trying to learn feebles and kind of using the right technique, but because you're on a smaller quarter pipe, it could be messing you up. A smaller, steeper one might be easier for a trick like a feeble, for example. But just try to keep that in mind as you're learning. Sometimes it's going to be your technique, most of the times, but sometimes you can be doing it right, and just the size of the quarter pipe is making it harder for you to learn the initial motion of the trick. So sometimes it could pay off to just mess around on different size quarter pipes. Okay, so if you guys take a look at this quarter pipe is a little bit smaller than the one we were just at, but it's slightly steeper. So if I was going to be learning a trick like an alley-oop 50-50 grind, for example, I would much rather do it on this one. Now that quarter pipe, so much like a bank ramp, it's not really helping you get lighter on your feet because it's so mellow, you're going up so slowly. So when it goes up steeper, it allows you to kind of get light on your feet and be able to slide your wheels much more easy for a trick like, alley-oop 50-50. Also, something I've seen generally across the board is that when it's steeper like this one, I'm gonna be able to grind my Smith grinds longer. Just pretty much every trick works better when it's a steeper incline, especially on a smaller quarter pipe. I think that's due to just, the more mellow something is, the more your wheels are gonna catch, So if you can find steeper quarter pipes for tricks like that, grinding tricks, it'll definitely help. Just gotta watch out that you don't shoot out though, because that's the one downside of it being steeper. It's a lot easier to slip out. Okay, so as you go up in size in quarter pipes, you're gonna see what I was just talking about kind of magnify. So I can do backsmiths just about in every quarter pipe, right? And I went to go film one on that little, the steeper one over there, and I stuck 2 times in a row. So I can land it on that quarter pipe. It just kind of proves the point though. Even if it is steeper and it's still small, it's gonna mess you up. So as the quarter pipe gets bigger, the easier it is for the board to dip down and not get stuck. A little less resistance. Of course, it's harder to learn tricks on bigger quarter pipes, but sometimes just being on a smaller one makes it much harder. One other really important benefit of a steep quarter pipe is the springboard it kind of gives you when you're doing tricks. This might be a little more for the advanced skater, but say I'm doing a nollie, heel flip tail stall or something like that. It's giving me this springboard to get up and over the coping and allow me to flip my tricks and do what I want to do, as opposed to that mellow one. It's much more gravity in play, so it's much harder. You have to pop higher. It kind of shoots you out over the coping or keeps you under the coping. This one, because it's steeper, it's kind of keeping you right in this area. Instead of launching you out of the ramp, it's kind of keeping you where you need to be. So I prefer to learn all my tricks, technical tricks, on something a little steeper just like this one. Okay, next thing we're gonna focus on is the material of what ramp you're skating. So if you're skating concrete, and there's a range of different concrete textures, this one's pretty smooth, it's a brand new park, so the wheels, they could slide, but there's definitely some grip there. An older park with way grainier cement, you're not gonna get as good a slide. You know, you really gotta like rip it around. And if you're skating, let's say like a Masonite, you know, quarter pipe, like skate light on it or something like that, you're gonna slide those wheels incredibly easy. You know, so if you're doing like before an alley-oop 50-50, that trick is gonna be 10 times easier on skate light than it is on concrete. And the same goes for when you're popping like into a tail slide or something like that. You get in this little scooping motion, right? And that scoop is much easier on skate light. Okay, and the last way a quarter pipe's gonna affect your skating is the size of the coping. All right, so if this is, you know, smaller coping and this part of the concrete and this kind of, you know, they meet here, that edge is very flat and small, you know, so the bigger the coping, rounder it is usually, and the easier it is to lock in the tricks. So the more it sticks out, you know, Smith grinds, things like that are actually, it's gonna help you. But then on the other side, it makes it much harder if you're doing tricks like back disasters or things. You'll find in the beginning, you probably don't like that feeling. It's like it hits the coping and stops you. You really have to like rip it over to get it, you know, where you want it to be. So, you know, just something to keep in mind when you're skating quarter pipes. There's other factors than just the, you know, the technique of the trick that could be preventing you from learning it. So, hope this video is helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.